Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Beluga series. I was just sitting here drinking my coffee. I made my fruit smoothie, and I was thinking about how there are a lot of women who try to socially compete with exoticals, and they make all this content about leveling up. And have you ever noticed how they conveniently skip over actually being at a healthy weight? They do all this talking about being classy and getting with a man of a different culture and going to these country clubs, but they don't talk about how to actually survive and make sure that your body is functioning properly. I don't want to go in the country club with 5 rolls on my stomach and I'm literally walking around the country club clenching my butt because I'm trying to hold in my boo boo because I had too much processed food. So, a lot of the social problems that you see women complain about online, they can be solved by simply losing weight. And then I hear women saying, "Oh, I don't have pretty privilege." Are you ugly or are you just fat? Because for a lot of the women that say they don't have pretty privilege, it's not that their face is that bad. It's really that they just have 5 chins or they're bloated or they're breaking out, their skin is bad because the food that you eat, it actually affects the quality of your skin. Sugar breaks down your collagen. So I promise you 90% of your pretty privilege problems, 90% of your social problems or feeling inadequate like you don't belong, a lot of that can be solved by getting healthy. And also, when it comes to overeating, I don't want food to be my only hobby. You know how people are like, oh, I'm a foodie. Okay, well, I don't want to be a foodie every day and every night, 24/7. I want to have other interesting qualities about myself so that even when I do meet these cool friends, or, for those of you who are like trying to date and all that, what are you going to do once you start dating? Just go to the country club and just eat every day? Just go to a restaurant and eat? Just be shaped like a bowling ball and then hope that he doesn't look at anyone skinny? No, that's unrealistic. But a lot of women, they become belugas because they eat when they're bored. So when they're bored at work, they eat, they snack on some crackers, and they're not tracking every bite that goes into their mouth. First of all, if I feel a temptation to eat and I know that I'm not hungry, oh, by the way, if you're not hungry, you're gaining weight. I just want to throw that out there. Like, generally speaking, if you're eating when you're not hungry, you're probably gaining weight. If you're not waiting until you're hungry to put food in your mouth, you're literally just stuffing your face for no reason. That's why the body has hunger signals. It's supposed to be telling you when to eat. You're not supposed to be just stuffing yourself 24/7. But if I'm at work or something and I find myself randomly bored, I'm not going to turn to the cookies. I'm going to step outside. I'm going to go get some fresh air. I'm going to go get some sunlight because that's like a good way to have dopamine. I'm going to move my body a little bit because I notice that sometimes when I have had food when I'm bored, it's not that I'm hungry, it's more so that I want stimulation. So instead of using the food as stimulation, I try to do something else with my body. I try to do something else with my hands. Some of you guys are looking for the sensation of digging into the crunchy chip bag, feeling the sound, feeling the ASMR, hearing the ASMR of the chip bag crunchy and making the crinkly noise. Then you want to feel the little powdery barbecue chip in your hand, and then you want to have the sound of it crunching. That is a sensory experience. So if you're like me and sometimes you're craving a sensory experience, what I will do is I will actually find something else to do with my hands. So if I'm working from home, I will go and fold some clothes. Lately, I've been getting into organizing and scrubbing stuff. So I will get one of my little Clorox bleach wipes and then I will start scrubbing the sink or I'll scrub my bathtub or something. Now I don't want to eat because I got bleach on my fingers. So I'm still getting the sensation and I'm kind of breaking that habit of always being bored with my hands and then I instantly want to put food in my hands and put my hands in my mouth. No, I can go and scrub something. I will go and organize like my nail polishes. Another thing that I used to do too at my job was I would have a nail polish at work on my desk. So if I get bored, instead of reaching into a chip bag and grabbing a handful of chips, how about I reach for my nail polish? I will just paint one nail. I don't have to do a full manicure because maybe I only have 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so I just paint one nail. So I'm still having a sensory experience. I'm still touching something and I'm holding something in my hand and I'm being precise by, painting my nail and I'm getting a sensory experience. Another thing you can do too is set the timer. I've done that before. Like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, well, it's only 11:15. Can I wait 15 minutes? And then I will tell myself, okay, let me wait 15 minutes and then if I'm still hungry, then I can eat. So kind of delaying the gratification a little bit, that also helps me. And for those of you who struggle with food noise is like when you are fasting or maybe you haven't had food in like an hour and you can't stop thinking about food. I try to start my day off properly. I talk about in the Patreon, I talk about the difference between a beluga meal versus a healthy meal. So anytime I would start my day with sugar, if I'm having cookies for breakfast, I'm having a cupcake or a muffin for breakfast, that's going to cause me to have more food noise as the day goes on. I've noticed that for my body, whatever I start my day out with, that's what I'm going to crave the rest of that day. So my breakfast, it really is the most important meal of the day for me. So I try to have like some sort of fruit smoothie with protein in it, or maybe I'll have some eggs or something healthy. I want to stay away from sugar at all costs. I want to stay away from processed food at all costs. That is the absolute worst possible breakfast. As a matter of fact, there was this one lady at my job, and she was obese, and I noticed every morning she would have processed food. Like I'm talking, you know, the stuff from Walmart where it's like a prepackaged sausage, egg, and cheese muffin, or like these little pre-made breakfast bowls that were very high calorie, like 700 calories. So she was already starting off her day with processed foods, poisons, and chemicals. So what do you think she was craving? I've noticed that all the obese women I've ever worked with, yes, I observe obese people in the workplace. Well, when I used to have a job, I did. Because for some of you guys, that's going to help you. It'll teach you what not to do. Go and observe anybody you know that's big. Go observe them. What do they eat? What time do they eat? How many meals do they eat? I guarantee they eat more than 3 times a day. And I guarantee they probably eat processed food for breakfast, or they will starve themselves and then they wait until they're super hungry, like ravenously hungry, and then they'll tell everybody in the office, oh, I haven't had food all day. Oh my God, it's 2 p.m. I haven't even had breakfast. You know, so they're panicking and spiraling in the office because they didn't have a donut that morning. And then they want to announce to everyone that they haven't had anything as if that's going to make them look like they're 100 pounds skinnier. And then since they waited too long and they're like ravenously hungry, then they go overeat. They will go order out every day. So what do your fat coworkers do when it comes to their meal habits? Do the opposite. Okay, so do you have coworkers who are big? They eat out for lunch every single day. They get these big ass plates of Mexican food. They're eating 8 tacos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, but tacos are healthy. They're small. Not when you eat 8. So observing your surroundings and the eating habits of those you do not want to look like, that's actually helpful. That's helpful because I noticed this one girl, I remember there was this one girl that I used to know a long time ago. She also was big, and her problem I noticed was eating at night. So we would have dinner, and then a couple hours later she'd be like, oh, I want some more food. So then she would eat like a big giant plate of chicken nuggets or a big giant plate of chicken wings, like a mountain of food. And I told you guys, small women eat small portions. If you are a size medium, you eat medium portions. If you are a size large, it's because you eat large portions. If you're a size extra large, you eat extra large portions. I said what I said. It's not the entire fashion industry that's messed up. No, they create clothes for people based on the portion sizes they think that that person had. So whatever size you are, all you have to do is ask yourself, do I want to stay this size? Do I want to continue eating medium-sized portions for the rest of my life? Or do I want to try small because, you know, I'm already right there? And for those of you who say like, oh, well, you know, a size large is good enough, a size 12 is good enough, it doesn't make that big of a difference. The only women I hear saying it doesn't make a big difference are women who have never had super toned washboard abs and no fat on their backs. It's only the women who have always been the same size who make that comment. Because I can tell you, as somebody that's been medium, a large, a small, and an extra small, I can tell you, society sees a difference. Yes, the attention you get is different. I know that it doesn't sound like a big difference going from size medium to size small or extra small, but no, it does, because when I go to the gym or if I'm showing my belly at all, like I'm wearing some sort of belly shirt, I'm working out, people actually look at my stomach. They're like, oh my God, oh wow, look at your abs, or look at your shape, or wow, you're super tiny. So yes, the attention is different for those of you who care about attention. And yes, there is definitely a difference in how I'm treated and how I'm perceived at a size small to extra small versus something as simple as a size medium. So just because you're not overweight or obese, that doesn't mean that like you're done. There's always another level, is what I'm trying to say. There's always another level. There are always other opportunities that can come from being super small, if that's what you want to be. As long as you're a healthy weight, then who cares? But as far as not overeating, so I will step outside instead of eating when I'm bored. Number two, I only eat at the table. When you're at work and you have a cubicle, your cubicle was not made to replace the lunchroom. If it was, then they wouldn't have a break room at all. They wouldn't have a lunchroom. No, you're supposed to have a mental break from where you eat versus where you work. So I don't eat like in my bed. I don't eat in the bathroom. I don't eat in the car or like these random places. I have a designated area where I eat, and that's the kitchen. It's at the table. Because if I eat somewhere else, most of the time I'm going to be rushed and sloppy. So women who have a rushed and sloppy way of eating, that's why they end up looking rushed and sloppy. That's why their body looks sloppy. That's why when they put on their contour, it looks like they rushed, because they were trying to contour away their 5 chins. They were trying to contour away the iguana chin, and yeah, it looks like you rushed, because now you have a big brown square hanging from the bottom of your face, and it's unblended. So no, I'm not going to rush. My body is the most important thing in my life because, if you don't have a body, then you're literally not on this earth anymore. So I don't understand why people, they want to prioritize all these other things, but none of it matters if you're not alive to enjoy those things. But to prevent boredom eating, I will have high protein with every meal. So that's why you see some people saying, oh, try to get 30 grams of protein with breakfast, 30 with lunch, and 30 with dinner. I don't always follow that, to be honest. Part of that is because I don't always have that much protein just in my fridge or prepared, but I will try to get some protein, and I do prioritize protein snacks. So for example, Greek yogurt is kind of like a protein snack for me, or it's more of like a protein dessert. Trail mix, so the nuts that has protein in it, the little like beef jerkies or like the little pepperoni sticks. Well, they're not pepperoni. They're made of either beef or turkey. They're called chomps. You can get those at Trader Joe's. That is a source of protein. So whatever snacks I'm purchasing, I just try to replace it with the protein version. Did you know that they have candy replacements that have protein in them? So like the protein Reese's, I can't remember the name of the brand, but like I will do stuff like that. So instead of reaching for candy, I try to go to the healthy aisle when I'm at the grocery store. I will get a protein bar that kind of tastes like Reese's. Instead of eating Pop-Tarts for breakfast, I'll try to get some sort of protein Pop-Tart if that's really what I'm craving. So that helps me to not have as much food noise. It helps prevent the boredom eating. And by the way, protein, it's literally what your body is made of. So you want to have protein so you can have like muscle tone and stuff. You don't want to have that skinny fat type of look. But another thing I will do to stop the boredom eating, if I'm bored, so you know how I said I do stuff with my hands. So nail polish, I will put on a face mask if I'm at home. I will clean up, I'll fold clothes, maybe making my bed, maybe vacuuming. Do you have one of those handheld vacuums? I've done that before. So just vacuuming like on my couch or on the little rugs or whatever. That's another way that I'm using my hands. So I'm getting stimulation. I'm getting a sensory stimulation, but I'm doing it without eating. That's why I said step outside, because going outside, it stimulates your senses. It's a different temperature outside. You're going to hear different sounds outside. I will also do yoga poses, so like the cat-cow, that actually helps to stop cravings. It helps your food to digest a little bit better. I will also make tea. So at my old job, I actually brought my tea kettle to the office and I would keep it in the break area. So whenever I was bored or wanting to get up and kind of walk around for 15 minutes, I would brew some tea, because that's another sensory experience. I'm smelling the apple cinnamon tea, I'm smelling the spices from the tea. I can feel the hot steam kind of rising up to my face. It feels warm in my hands. I can hear myself drinking. If you slurp the tea, which is nasty, but for those of you who do slurp, you can hear yourself slurping the tea. So it's a sensory experience. Number 4, if you have to eat, have a piece of fruit or a vegetable, like a raw vegetable. Oh, I realized too that a lot of why I didn't like vegetables before, it wasn't that I didn't like veggies, it was that I didn't like steamed vegetables. I don't like zucchini noodles because they're nasty. I don't like kind of this soft, almost like a wet. I feel like some steamed vegetables, they're like slightly wet and they don't hold seasoning super well. So that was a part of why I used to not like vegetables. So if you don't like vegetables, it's not the vegetables, it's probably just that you don't like how they are cooked. So, what are your favorite textures? Do you like crunchy foods? Like me, I love crunchy foods. Anything that has a little bit of crunch. So, with the vegetable thing, I started making roasted vegetables. Or I would just eat the raw vegetables. You know how they have those veggie platters with the carrots and the broccoli? I actually like stuff like that because it has a crunch to it. It's not this super soft type of broccoli. I actually prefer a raw piece of broccoli and then I just dip it in something yummy versus some nasty ass steamed broccoli with no seasoning on it. So learn how to make vegetables in your favorite texture. If you like crunchy, you're lucky because you can just do raw. Or you can do stir fries. I do a lot of stir fries and roasted vegetables because that also helps to get the crunch. I like air fried vegetables as well because, again, it helps to have a little crispiness to it. I like crispy, crunchy types of foods. And by the way, I saw that there was a study where it said Americans, that's our favorite texture of food, is like this crispy, crunchy food. So don't rely on steamed vegetables if that's not your favorite texture. If you don't really like slightly soft foods, then you don't want to make that your snack. So whenever you're bored, you can reach for your little pre-made thing of carrots. And then as far as the sauce, the way that I choose my sauces, it's based on whatever my favorite ethnicity of food is. So you guys know that I like soul food, I like Mexican food, some of you guys like Asian food. Well, you can go to the grocery store, they have little Asian sauces. You can make that into your small dipping sauce. Just make sure to measure it out. 200 calories max, 250 calories maximum. That's what I would do. But you can measure it out, put it in a little dipping thing, and that can be your snack. Something else that happened to me too when I started losing weight was I had to stop copying other people's diets, and I noticed that I had to just cater to my own weird cravings. So, for example, with the raw veggie platters, I never met anybody who really likes those. As a matter of fact, anytime I would go to a party and they had a raw veggie platter, usually the platter is still there at the end of the party. Usually people prefer like some cupcakes or like some chicken wings or something, but I just had to embrace that that is my random thing that I like. So since that worked for me, that was my new snack. So whatever weird healthy snacks you're into, if you're into some weird combination, like if you like celery dipped in chocolate, I don't know how people can do stuff like that. Celery dipped in a little bit of Nutella or something like that. Whatever your strange food combos are, if it's helping you to stay consistent and like lose weight, just do it because that really helped me. Is embracing the random things about myself. Yes, I like raw vegetables. Yes, I like raw cherry tomatoes. Like literally just straight out of the package. I can just spray them with some olive oil, put some seasoning on them, and then just eat them straight. So yeah, I like stuff like that. I can eat tomatoes like that. I also could eat onions like that, but I don't do that in public in front of other people because, I don't want to like have an offensive smell. But yeah, if there's anything that you really like and it works for you, then just do that for yourself. Don't allow other people to get you off track. Like, oh, that's weird. Oh, you like rice cakes? I've seen some girls, they really like those little rice cakes. And they eat that all the time. Like they will have that every day. So if that's what works for her, why is it a problem? Some people stay fat because they don't train themselves to like vegetables. You have to train your taste buds. By the way, it doesn't take that long to train your taste buds. It only takes like a couple of weeks. So for all the people who say, oh, healthy food is nasty, you're telling me you can't go a couple of weeks training yourself to actually like something that is healthy? That's pure laziness. But number 5, way to stop eating when you're bored is keeping your hands busy by putting on hand lotion. You can massage your cuticles. If you have that cuticle oil at your desk at work, you can use that. You can file your nails. Something I actually used to do on my 15-minute breaks was I used to journal on my breaks. So I would bring my little notebook and my little fancy pen with a little fuzzy ball on it. And then I would just go down to the little break area and I would do a journal. So my hands are busy and my mind is busy, so I can't think about food. I already am having a sensory experience by looking at the paper of the journal. So if you're into stationery and stuff like that, definitely get yourself some stationery, some cute little fuzzy pens. All of that is meant to activate your senses. That's why they have pens with a fuzzy ball. Or they have, like, those little stress balls. For some of you guys, that will help you to stop eating when you're bored. You can just do your little stress ball. As a matter of fact, I actually used to bring weights. I would bring the little small hand weights to work, and I would just leave them in the drawer under my desk. And during my break, I would just take out my little small 1 pound weight, like the tiniest weights possible. I would take them out and just do a couple of little sets. So that's another way that my hands are busy. If you work from home, you can get a foam roller. You can get those little things where it kind of massages your muscles. I'm about to order one of those, actually. I put it in my Amazon cart. But that's another way of keeping your hands busy, kind of having this sensory experience without having to consume calories. Yesterday, I was just cleaning out my purse. So the bottom of my purse, you know how your purse can get messy? I was cleaning it out yesterday, just taking out all the old receipts, throwing that away, throwing away old business cards and random stuff. So that's a sensory experience, but it was a way to keep my hands busy so that I'm not just randomly digging my hands into a bag of chips. Because I believe that your body has muscle memory, not just with dancing and stuff, but I personally believe that your body has memory even when it comes to eating and digging your hand into chip bags and going to the pantry and opening the fridge. Have you ever just walked into the kitchen and then you open the refrigerator and stand there and stare? I believe that that is muscle memory. So it's not that you're hungry, it's that your body remembers, oh, this is a part of my routine. So I try to create a new routine for my body and my muscles. So cleaning, organizing. Some of you guys have a lot of makeup that needs to be organized. Some of you guys could be cleaning and wiping your makeup. Do you have like little stains and little like marks in your makeup bag, or like, something that could be cleaned? You can start doing that. I do that all the time. Putting on hand sanitizer at work. So hand lotions, hand sanitizers, I'm using my hands. I'm stimulating my senses, but I'm not grabbing food. Number 6 is decorating my desk. So cutting out little strips of construction paper. It depends on where you work and like what the rules are, but what I used to do was I would put like pink construction paper on my cubicle so it kind of looks like a pink backsplash. Or like around Christmas, maybe cutting up some green and some red little items to decorate my cubicle. That's another way that I'm using my hands without having food in them. I'm getting the scissors, I'm cutting the construction paper. I have the sensory experience of holding on to that different textured paper. I will also wipe off my phone screen. So if you have little wipes, or if they have them at your job, go get a wipe or something, wipe off your phone screen. You can go wipe down your cubicle, wipe down the counters if you're working from home. I will put like lotion on my feet, or like, you know how they have almond oil and stuff that kind of heals the scars on your body? Sometimes I will do that. I will put some oil on a random scar on my body. It's kind of like a spot treatment or something. So that's another sensory experience. I'm using my hands and I'm focusing on something else other than, oh, I want something in my hands. I want chips. I want popcorn. Number 7, this helped me to lose weight when I was bored. Just doing a random exercise, just like 5 reps. So I told you guys about how when I would go to the bathroom at work, I would do like 5 to 10 squats in the stall. I talked about how when I was sitting at my desk, I might do some leg raises just in my chair. So I'm just raising my legs like under the desk. Nobody can see it. Standing up on my tippy toes, doing toe raises, just like 10 reps. Maybe doing a couple of stretches, or you can actually do ab workouts in a chair. So I've done stuff like that, just a very small amount of reps. That helps me to also stimulate my body. I'm no longer bored, and I'm getting closer to my goals instead of getting farther away. Okay, I think I'm on number 8, browsing Reddit and seeing the weight loss story times, or seeing the story times of Pretty Privilege from before and after weight loss. I mean, that'll really keep you in check. That keeps me in check all the time. So if I'm bored, I will watch those videos of the women talking about how much it sucks. Go listen to those women talking about how much it sucks and how, they spent all this time editing their photos to try to make their stomach look smaller and then they went on a date, and then the guy said she was a catfish, or the men are trying to use them for sex because they think they're easier. I don't want to be treated like that. Or people are just, ignoring them or not speaking to them, not treating them like a human. I don't want to be treated like shit in this society. So if that means I have to be bored a little bit and just not eat, that's fine. If it means I have to, not have thousands of calories per day, that's a very small sacrifice. Another one of my daily habits too is just browsing on Pinterest or on whatever my favorite shopping website is and thinking about how cute I'm going to look in my little skirt or, whatever outfits, kind of browsing for outfits that I can only get away with being slim. That helps to keep me on track as well, because it's like, okay, I like being able to pull off certain clothes that other women can't pull off. There are some clothes where a size small can pull it off. Size medium can't even pull it off in the same way. Only a size small or extra small can pull off certain things and feel comfortable. And I'm just being honest about that. I'm being honest as somebody who has lost weight. I can tell you that there is a difference. I shop differently now. I purchase different clothes now than when I was a size medium or a size large. Because when I was especially a size large, I was always looking for clothes to cover certain parts of my body. Like, oh, I got to cover the bra strap fat. Oh, I got to make sure my arms don't look like bat wings. Oh, I got to cover my chest. I'm showing too much cleavage. Oh, well, this skirt, my butt's too big for the skirt. I got to cover it. So everything was about covering up the areas I didn't want people to see. My wardrobe was like kind of revolving around camouflaging certain parts of my body. Whereas now, in an extra small, I'm like, oh yeah, give me the teeniest, tiniest cutout. Like I love cutouts now more than before because nothing's bulging. So even if I am bloated, you can't tell at all because I'm just so small. So looking at clothes, kind of looking at these aspirational outfits, that helps to keep me motivated. If you don't like looking at clothes, you can look at something else. Makeup, nail polishes, different hairstyles, anything that keeps your hands busy. So you can go on your phone, scroll a little bit, save things to your Pinterest board. That's still better than digging into a bag of chips. And I hear a lot of women complaining about feeling invisible. Well, part of what makes women feel invisible is not meeting their own internalized beauty standard. Their body not being where they want it to be. And by the way, you don't have to be a certain size. I'm only talking about my preferences for my body. I do prefer to be like maybe an extra small to a small. But whatever your body goals are, it's okay to prefer looking like that. Also, it's nobody else's business. It's nobody's business what size you want to be. It's nobody's business what weight you are. But number 9, way to use your hands without eating. Reorganize your jewelry. Detangle your necklaces. Do you have a bunch of necklaces and bracelets that are all matted up and they're all balled up inside of your jewelry box? If you work from home, maybe when you're taking a break for 5 minutes, you can just work on that. Something tedious. You can do something tedious with your hands instead of eating. Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have an Instagram? Edit. Do some CapCut editing. Do some Final Cut Pro editing. Make something on Canva. Work on that flyer that you've been trying to create. Put on one of those under eye masks. Put on like one of those lip masks. Do a lip scrub. You can create your own. You can actually mix your own facial. Instead of mixing food in the kitchen when you're not hungry, create a facial. Put some bentonite clay in there, put some apple cider vinegar in there, and get one of those little paint brushes and paint that mask on your face. That's a sensory experience without having to eat food. You can also do some painting. I actually have a painting in my bedroom. I'm very proud of it. I have a painting that I did, and I put it up on my wall. So if you have arts and crafts in your house, or if you're into that, you can do that. You can do some knitting. Are you good at knitting and crocheting? You can make your own top. Make your own shirt in a size medium. Whatever size you're trying to stay. Make a shirt in that size. Put that on. Make a hat. It's fall right now, so winter is coming up. You can knit yourself a hat or a scarf, or if you have a niece or nephew or a baby or something, you can make something for the baby. As a matter of fact, if you have a baby in the house or you have some sort of pet or something like that, go and care for them. Go give your baby a massage. Go and see if your baby, see how the baby is doing. Go play with your little daughter or your little son. Go play with your dog. Go play with the cat. Play catch. Take the dog out for a walk. Those are all different ways that you're using your senses. You're using your hands, but you're not putting your hands in your mouth with food. One of the pretty girls was in my comments and she was like, oh yeah, I like to put on these flavored lip glosses and that helps me to not eat. That's very smart because you're getting that sensory experience. You can smell the strawberry pound cake, but it's on your lips. You didn't have to eat it. All you did was you put on some flavored lip gloss. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comments section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.